Okay, so in my last video, it was a live painting feed on YouTube. It was, I call it Studio Mate in another state, where I'm painting alongside you. I'm just your studio mate, although the last time I did chat a lot more than usual. It was about an hour of explaining how I set up my paintings, because I get asked all the time. First I put down black and white gesso, then I put down aerosol colors and shapes, then I start applying, I might start applying acrylic like I did here so I get texture, and then I start laying down the oils, which I hadn't done at the end of the video. We took a break for lunch and I didn't come back. But I did start working on the oil, did start working on the oil end of it yesterday or the day before, and I'm reasonably happy. I've gotten the colors that I wanted. I wanted to use a lot of transparent earth red, which I have in there. I've mixed in some Indian yellow, I have teals, I have blues, and I have kind of that dark feeling that I want. Because although I'm painting children, I really hate paintings of happy little children and happy little colors. I want to find a deeper level, a slightly deeper level. I want to find something that punches you in the chest, has an ethereal feel, and not just looks like happy children by the seashore. I find that stomach turning, but here we are. This particular painting, this particular image, or the reference material came from a photograph about that big from my friend Heather Adels. I had talked about her before. She was an artist from Providence, someone I love dearly, and was a magnificent person, magnificent artist. She passed away suddenly about a little over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, and I miss her. She was a terrific person and very good to me and a good friend and lots of fun. And she shared with me her some family photographs, and this is one. So I waited a while to do it. It was hard for me to pull it out and do it without her here, but I just decided to go ahead and paint. I believe this is her mother. It's either her mother or grandmother, but I believe it's her mother. And I don't want to do it in the bright colors that I do a lot of paintings in, because the child would come across as sickening sweet and wouldn't have that punch to the chest. As it turns out, her family had a lot of issues. So, and without revealing them, I want to stay within the strain of the issues and see if they're able to come across. But, so there's Heather's painting. Hopefully she, wherever she is now in the stratosphere, she can see it, because she was a good friend and I miss her. But anyway, moving on. This particular painting is something I've waited a while to do as well. This is the reference material. They're African American children that are dressed in dresses and bows, and I love it. I love the imagery. I love the feeling of the old-timey photographs. And when I first started painting and drawing figures, I used to paint a lot of children in dresses and bows and Victorian garb, or early 20th century garb, but they were always white children. And I've really lost the desire to paint white children dressed up. It just it holds no depth or interest for me anymore. So I was I've been really pleased to come across images like this, and I want to take them and reflect them as best I can. So I have these two girls, and right now they're looking fairly bizarre, but I know at some point in time they will level out. I will get them to calm down. This particular, that figure is driving me crazy. Her face is driving me nuts, because she's slightly bug-eyed and too big eyes, too cutesy. So we want to minimize that. We want to bring it down a little bit so she feels like more like a human being and less than a cartoon of a child. As you can see, the bottom is still abstract, not quite drawn in, but I'm really pleased with this particular face, with the second figure's face. I'm so over the top excited about this. And sometimes when I get excited about painting something that I really have interest in, something that I really have interest in, I apply too much paint at once, and then I'm trying to alleviate some of the layers. You know, I'll have to go in and scrape or remove with mineral spirits or some acetone. So this time, these particular images, I'm trying to be careful. So I'm adding thin layer on top of thin layer and sticking with the same palette. Here we have African American children, and here we have a clearly Caucasian child. And I'm kind of trying to stick with the same palette. And for people who don't switch back and forth between different shades of people, of skin color, I'll tell you, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge to know when to highlight in white, when not to highlight in white. He's got teals, light teals. They have light teals as well, but it translates in the head completely different, and that is a big challenge, and it is a fun challenge, and it's something that I love about what I do, is that I get to explore and have adventure and try and figure it out. How to explain or how to express similarities and differences using the exact same palette. I love it. At one point in time when I first started painting children, I couldn't do it. I didn't know how. I thought that light was light no matter what skin tone it hit, and it is completely different. And so I would paint Caucasian children with pink and white, and brown children, when I finally got around to it, using browns. And then I got bored with being obvious and thought, I'm going to paint everyone in teals and blues and see what happens. Or most of the time, paint everyone with teals and blues. And now I find it so exciting to know that I could screw it up completely, screw up my portraits completely, and then turn around and find a way out and correct them. That's where the adventure in painting lies for me. That's where the fun is. So that was kind of convoluted and silly. I didn't think it all the way through, but I wanted to make a little video today, and so I did. That was it. But anyway, that's what I'm working on now, as well as like 11 other paintings that I've gotten bored with and had to put to the side. But these are the two that I, did a thing on the other day, and now I'm doing it again. And hopefully I'll be able to dig my way out, and I don't make either set into a walking cliche, because that would be horrible. That would be absolutely horrible. Anyway, ciao.